Here is the petition that you can sign to help enact a change with Judge Zern. The more people that petition for this, the higher likelihood of an alternative outcome is going to be to this reverse split, a change in the settlement, or in other words, just to make things right. Now, I will link this down below in the description. Feel free to do this if you would like to. I personally did this. But keep in mind, the reason that I'm really doing this is because, number one, I don't think it was ethical, legal, or fair the way that AMC went about doing this. The way that they cooked the vote and took away the voting power of AMC common stockholders. I think this is more of a principal concern that this was so manipulative, it's ridiculous. Now, keep in mind, with that being said, I don't think this ultimately really means too much in the grand scope of the trade. I think if things go our way in courts, well, this arbitrage trade is done, shorts are screwed, they're covering, you're getting the Moass. There's literally no other way to put it. Check out the last video I just posted where shorts have lost $1.91 billion in Q1 2023. That is over 3 times the total dollar amount that is sold short in AMC stock right now when the short interest is 26.5%. That is unsustainable. So if this court date does not go the way the hedge funds think it's going to go, well, they're going to have a massive problem on their hands. Considering days to cover is well excess of 5, there's not a lot of shares to actually cover on that short position. And the Moass could be closer than you think. But on the alternative, if Judge Zern sides with AMC and they let this go through and AMC raises billions of dollars, well, I think that also crushes the short thesis, because no matter if the short interest is 26% or 30% or 50%, arbitrage trade or not, shorts still have to cover on their short positions. Even if there's an arbitrage trade, there's still a short position that will be outstanding. And I think when that short thesis is crushed, ultimately crushed, then that gives you a short squeeze as well. The courts going in our favor, not letting this go through, I think that gives you the squeeze sooner, granted, but I don't think it ends this whole squeeze. And it looks like so far you have had 4,335 people and counting that have signed this petition. Now, this is from Brian Tuttle. This is the one, if you guys wanted to vote on it, you should. Do what you guys want. We're going to go ahead and read the first couple paragraphs here. So anyone that kind of just goes and signs this knows what they are signing. So it says, "Dear Honorable Morgan T. Zern, we, the undersigned shareholders, respectfully request that we be allowed to opt out of the settlement agreement in the above captioned class action case. We further notice the court of the following. We are AMC Entertainment Holdings common stockholders who are part of the class in the above captioned case. Recently, it has come to our attention that a proposed settlement has been reached between the plaintiffs and AMC. After careful review of the proposed settlement, we do not believe that the terms of the settlement are in the best interest of shareholders as a class. Remember, the settlement appears to be a cash grab for the plaintiffs' attorneys who stand to gain significant fees rather than a fair and just resolution for shareholders. This kind of action is typical in Delaware Chancery Court, and counsel for the plaintiffs are repeat offenders. As such, we respectfully request that the undersigned be allowed to opt out of the settlement agreement. We further request the court deny any motion to lift the status quo order in effect at this time until, at minimum, there is a resolution on the plaintiff's request for declaratory relief. We believe the facts alleged on our behalf demonstrate a clear breach of DGCL 242 and, equally as important, the fiduciary duty owed to shareholders. It is our opinion that the settlement agreement does not provide adequate compensation for the harm caused to the class as a result of the defendant's actions. Accordingly, lifting the status quo order prior to a junction of our collective grievances will cause the class irreparable harm. Therefore, we respectfully request that the court allow us to opt out of the settlement agreement to pursue our own legal actions and to do so with the previously adopted status quo order in effect. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So there you have it. If you guys want to be a part of it, go ahead and do so. I don't know if you donate to this. A lot of people have. I mean, where's some of my money? I'm just playing. A lot of people have donated to this, so I'm not sure where those funds go, so be careful with that. I don't know who they go to, where they go to. Probably change.org, probably this website. But nonetheless, there you have it. Now, let's get into what's going on with AMC. And like I said, if you guys have not watched the last video that was put out around 2:30 p.m. Eastern time today, highly recommend you guys do that because shorts are getting crushed on their short positions. And I think that's an understatement. They've lost a substantial amount of money just to cost to borrow rates. Not to mention AMC stock is up about 30% year to date, or from the lows, I should say. That's a problem for shorts. And specifically, the more attention this petition gets and this apprehension to the settlement gets, the worse it is for the short. So if you've ever wanted to squeeze shorts or make them pay, I mean, sharing this video, number one, is what I would personally do. I would hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if I have not already. But sign the petition. And again, that is your choice to do so if you feel the need to do so. I personally did. Full disclaimer there. Now, AMC stock. Having a mixed day. It's up, it's down, it's been red all day. Down about 2%. And granted, we still do have a little bit of time left here on the trading day, but a slightly red day. Now, the live short interest of free float sitting at 26.28%. 135.5 million shares that are currently sold short. Cost to borrow average 336%. Cost to borrow max 363%. Cost to borrow minimum sitting at about 250%. Interactive Brokers has a cost to borrow rate of 259% with about 10,000 shares that are currently available. But keep in mind, with everything that is said here, when that squeeze does come, when shorts do try to get out of those short positions, it's going to be very hard for them to do so. Your days to cover has just consistently been ramping higher, now at 5.21. That means that if all shorts wanted to cover on their short positions, it would take 5 days to do so. Not to mention if shorts wanted to get out quicker than that. It's kind of telling you how aggressive AMC could squeeze and how panicked essentially shorts could get if AMC stock did start to squeeze. It's not like there's an easy exit out of their short positions. Now, you do have $695 million worth of short positions currently on AMC stock, and I think that's why that $1.91 billion number on top of 30%, rally from the lows year to date is pretty sizable, right? It's over 300% of an aggregate loss that short sellers have already made. And granted, you only stand to really make about 120 to 150% off this whole entire arbitrage trade. The time is of the essence for the shorts. That's why they're trying to expedite this court process. They're trying to get through this as quickly as possible so they can come out of this profitable. And at this point, with likely little profits because of the time it has taken and the insane cost to borrow rates that they have paid. Now, story with the options. This is gonna get interesting pretty quickly. Here in after hours, as well as tomorrow, because you have a major option expiration. A lot of people have been betting that AMC stock was going to fall like a rock by this Friday. And a lot of people are still betting that AMC is going to fall like a rock tomorrow, with a lot of concentration at those $5 puts, as well as those $4 and $3 and $2 puts. And if you don't get that drop, you're probably going to get a very bullish reaction. Now, the open interest on the call side, 36.68%. Open interest on the put side, 63.32%. Some very bullish numbers that you're seeing over here. Well, they're bearish, and that makes me bullish. I should say that. That's the better way to put it. Now, for April 28th, calls total open interest, 25.5%, puts at 24.5%. Now, I know a lot of people say court date's canceled, April 27th. I get it. But you're still going to get an update April 27th. That's key. You're still going to get some new information. That's going to happen. And that new information is what is going to drive AMC after April 27th. That's going to be Thursday. And then on Friday, you're going to get that full reaction. But I do think really the entirety of next week will also be very, very important. Now, taking a look at the Stonko tracker data, and what makes tomorrow so crazy is the sheer level of option activity. 7,500 calls in the money, 488,000 calls that are out the money. In the money puts at 265,000. Puts out of the money continue to ramp up at 590,000. These numbers are just going higher and higher and higher throughout the day today. And that potentially opens the door for shorts to get burned coming tomorrow, because they're buying these options with 1 day. 1 day of time. They're literally YOLOing on these options, betting the AMC is going to fall dramatically. I'm not in that camp. When everyone is bearish, I like to take that arbitrage side, because the percentage chance of AMC going higher or lower, the more people are bearish, gives it a higher chance of actually rallying. That's like when Facebook or Netflix or Tesla reported earnings in, late 2024 or 2020. Oh my gosh, 2023, 2022. Oh my gosh, your boy can't get right today. Everyone was so negative. It didn't take a lot to get a bullish reaction. Now, if everyone was bullish heading into those earnings, right, and stick with me, Facebook was at $90, Tesla was at $100, Netflix was at $150. Now those stocks are almost doubled from those levels. If everyone was bullish at that time when those stocks were at ultra low levels, then you probably would have gotten a sell-off after earnings. That's typically how financial markets like to work. You can't have so many people win. That can't happen. You can't have everyone negative and then the stock plummets. Then they're all going to get paid out. You can't have that in capital markets most of the time. So that's kind of my thesis why tomorrow could actually be a pretty strong positive day for AMC. On top of that, you really don't have anything for additional earnings. There's only going to be a couple companies, really, none that are important to the markets. You have P&G, SLB, Autoliv, HCA Healthcare, SAP, Regions, and Independent Bank. None of these guys are going to be important to the markets, like literally at all. You also don't have anything for economic data. You do have the UK's retail sales, and that could, move the markets just depending how things go. You're expecting a negative 0.5%. If it comes in something crazy like -5 or something like that, then maybe you get fears of the economy slowing down. But I don't see too many outside forces that are going to play a role tomorrow, at least what I can sit here and forecast to you guys. So we're just going to get basic market movements tomorrow. It's not like you have any big earnings or catalyst, is pretty much what I'm trying to say. So not too much else actually happened on the day. You do have popcorn, AMC's popcorn, that is starting to actually hit the Walmart shelves, and we reported that in the last video as well. I think that's a very positive thing, obviously, but I doubt we get any updates on that anytime soon, probably coming on earnings, and earnings will start to be the next focus, I think, after April 27th, depending on what we hear. Now, I'm in the camp again. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think AMC stock is bullish after April 27th or whenever we get a new development from the judge. I do not think she's going to go against the common stockholders to protect the hedge funds. That's what it comes down to. Again, I don't think Judge Zern is going to protect the hedge funds and do wrong by common stockholders. I think at the bare minimum, you get a vote of just common stock. At the bare minimum. Maybe there's a possibility that she just says, yeah, you did break rule, DGC, what is it, 245? I believe, don't quote me on that one. And this is illegal and you can't do this. There's no reverse split happening. That's also a possibility at this point. Nothing is set in stone. And that also makes me very, very bullish. Now, if we take a brief look at some of the technical levels for AMC, and guys, just look at this as well. Look at the S&P 500 completely crumbling towards the end of the day. There was actually a weird headline that hit the Bloomberg terminal that Russia is preparing to attack the UK. I'm not sure how true that is. Doesn't sound very true. But at the same time, markets did start to sell off. So keep that in mind. I'm not going to predict that. I'm not going to speak on that too much, but that was a weird headline that did come out about an hour ago when the markets did start to sell off. Now, AMC stock 50-day moving average at $5.26 per share, 100-day moving average at $5.40 per share. Those are going to be the key levels to any upside, and I do think it's possible you come up, retest that 50-day moving average coming even tomorrow if you do get that bullish reaction like I think you will. Worst case scenario, watch that 450 level. There's a lot of cushion between where we are now and 450, so I doubt that to be the case as well. I think you either move big tomorrow or it's a complete nothing burger. Yeah, RSI, pretty dang neutral, a little bit on the oversold side after today. If we go ahead and pull up the MACD as well, one of my other favorite indicators, you're pretty neutral overall. You're about at 0, so that's very neutral. And just for reference here, this was the June squeeze. These have been the minor rallies in AMC before. And these have been the major lows, right? Where the volatility really has picked up and AMC has fallen. It's very much unvolatile right now from what the MACD is telling us, guys. So that is going to do it for this video. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.